Hey, Dustin Tibbetts here, financial advisor with Jazz Wealth Managers. How you doing today? Hope you're having a great day out there. Hey, we're talking about Roth conversions today. I get this question a lot. Does it make sense for me to do Roth conversions? How do I know how much to do? And, does it make sense in the long run? Should I do them later, do them now? How should this work? Well, we put together a little example for you, and I want to kind of walk through that with you with one of my favorite people, Louis Armstrong. So we use Nest Egg here. It's something that we put together for our customers. We give it to all of them. It's a financial planning software that all the big companies use. But what we did is gave it a fancy name, and we give it to our customers as if they're planners as well. So we let our customers actually see every last feature, dive in there and have at it. And then, of course, I can sweep up behind them. Any of us can sweep up behind them and dial things in rather than just say, hey, put a plan together and then hope that that person got it right. You get to see the guts of it. So I want to walk you through this real quick, and we're going to actually simulate a Roth conversion and see if this makes sense for Mr. Louis and see if it actually would make sense for you as well, something you want to consider here. You got to have this advantage. Let's take a look here. Louis Armstrong, real quickly, currently in his life, he's 48 years old. His wife, Lucille, who's a singer at the Cotton Club, she's 36 at this point in her life. As far as expenses go, they've got $6,500 in pre-retirement expenses, excluding their mortgage at the moment, and they file taxes, married filing jointly, as they were. As far as the savings that they have, Louis and Lucille had a bit of an issue. They saved a lot in their pre-tax accounts. And I get this a lot. People tell me all the time, I got too much money in my pre-tax account, Dustin. Well, Louis put in 6% and his company matched 6%. 12% of his income, essentially, is all pre-tax money. Now, he thought he was doing the right thing there. Lucille also did the same. She put in 5% because she got a 5% match. But lately, Louis and Lucille joined Jazz Wealth, and I said, well, you got to have some post-tax money in there. So they've been working hard on that. You like that I'm telling you a story instead of just doing this? So Louis says, okay, I'm going to put $4,000 in my Roth IRA. That's all I can do right now. And I'm going to raise it by inflation, or 2.5% a year. So essentially, I'm putting $4,000 of each year's value into the Roth. Lucille says, okay, we're going to do $3,000 in there. She's going to raise it by inflation, or 3% as well. And so that's really all they have as far as their retirement savings at the moment. Now, income-wise, you've got Louis sitting over here with $100,000 a year in income, did great. Lucille, singing, made $70,000. They're going to estimate their Social Security at the moment, and I've got them in there at 67 for Louis and 64 for Lucille. That was from a different class, but that's essentially where they're at right now. Louis wants to retire at 63, and Lucille's going to retire at 63 as well, but that'll be later in life because she's younger, remember. They expect to spend $7,500 a month in retirement. They've got some health care baked into there as well, so this is separate from their retirement expenses. And let's take a look at their overall net worth. We're not really interested in bank accounts or anything today. We're looking at investments. Here we go. So at the moment, we're playing catch up for Louis and his Roth. A lot of people, I know I'm talking to somebody out there who's like, oh my gosh, I've been saving in pre-tax accounts my whole life. I got to play catch up in the Roth. Louis got his Jazz Wealth Roth here with us, invested in a few different ways, but it's got about $40,000 in it. Now look at these three accounts here. We got $154,000, $133,000, and $67,000. This is an old 401k that Louis got where he's basically just put it in two stocks at the moment. But these are all pre-tax accounts. The bulk of what they have is all pre-tax accounts at the moment. And so we want to see could we start by converting this 401k to a Roth little by little? Could we then start converting their existing 401ks to post-tax money little by little? And so what we're going to do is go up over to the tax tab over here, and we're going to go to distributions. Now, here's what we're looking at. Let me explain this one real quick. The green area that you see, I can't really hover over it or it puts this box here, but the green area is their current taxable income by year. So just figure out, okay, taxable income's going up for a few years. It drops all of a sudden. That's because he retires in there. And then it starts going back up again, right? What we want to see is this going down. We don't want to pay more and more tax as you get older because then there's a chance you run out of money. Well, the other lines that you see are the different tax brackets. So in particular, the one right above the green right up here is like a lighter orange. That's the 22% tax bracket. If I hover over their current year right now, the box that pops up shows me, okay, his adjusted taxable income right now is $140,200. $209. Now, if he really wanted to go geeky here, he could actually go look at his 1040 to see how that number came to, right? To see if there's anything we need to tighten up there. This thing does everything. It's incredible. He can go every year, by the way, as well. Okay, so what we found is adjusted taxable income is $140,000. The top of the 22% tax bracket, it tells you there, it's the second from the bottom, $171.50. That's accurate at the moment. What we want to know is, can we convert some money? And if so, where do we stop? How much do we convert each year? And so the normal thought from right now is to say, well, let's just fill up our existing tax bracket, right? So we won't pay any higher tax rate. We'll just pay whatever we were going to pay anyways in that tax bracket. So in this case, it's the 22%. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to simulate doing Roth conversions now. Right now, just saying, let's convert the most efficient way along the way, and then let's see if that results in any extra money at the end of our life. So what we can do is click on action items. Actually, every page here, you can click on action items, and we're going to say, okay, we want to do a Roth conversion, but we want to fill up the 22% tax bracket, okay? So I'm just going to click and make it do its calculations here. And now what you see, the blue is the conversion. The green is if we didn't do a conversion, so I'll just click to get rid of it. This is what their income and their life looks like if we convert consistently over the next so many years. Not too bad, right? So all of a sudden, we're going to have a little bit higher taxable income, but as they get to retirement, in particular him and then his wife, all of a sudden their taxable income is non-existent, which means their Social Security very well is not going to be taxed, which means they're going to have more money, to the tune of $146,000 extra dollars. That sounds like a lot, but remember, they make a lot of money at the moment, $170 between the two of them, and also this is adding back in the fact that their Social Security won't be taxed. So it's $146,000 more dollars by converting the money. Again, if I put this is where we were, the blue in the background is where we're going if we do these conversions. So there is no doubt a benefit to doing this. Even if we only did half of this at the moment, we know we're actually generating more income. So this is not going to look like much over here, this comparison tab, because in this example, we are eventually going to have 100% of his money tax-free. So he'll be living tax-free there. But if we go one more tab over, this is the details of the conversion. It tells you the year. It says, this is the year that Louis, his age now, and Lucille, the conversion amount for each and every year to make this happen. It's telling you right in there how we're going to get this done. So we're slowly doing those conversions. We don't have to guess at all. We can just dive right in there. We know what's going to happen going forward, and we can actually prove to Louis, one of our most valuable clients here, of course, he's one of my favorite musicians of all time, we can actually show him that this makes sense versus just saying, yeah, convert some money, right? Have you ever worked with an advisor and they're like, yeah, Roth conversions are great, you should consider doing some of them? A lot of times they actually do that because they don't have that money. I'm not saying they're bad people, but they don't have that money. If you'll convert it, now all of a sudden they have that money and they can make some money off of your money. You got to be able to prove it to the customer that converting is best for them. That's called a fiduciary responsibility to the client, and we are 100% fiduciaries here. I hope that helped you in some way. I hope it gets you thinking a little bit, right? Don't just save money and then figure, well, I'm saving enough. I save 20% of my paycheck. I'm going to be just fine. Now that you're doing that, if you're really an active saver, now let's dive in and go, what's the most efficient way to save your money? Should we make little adjustments along the way that put more dollars in your pocket? That's a $146,000 difference by the end of their life. That means they're not going to outlive their money now, right? They can now leave it on. Louis Armstrong didn't have any kids, neither did Lucille, but there was one person that said she was the daughter of Louis Armstrong, and it worked. He ended up paying her, by the way, a little bit. It was $400 a month back then. It was what he agreed to pay her because he thought he was really his daughter. But nonetheless, they've got legacies that they can leave on now, right? Because of this extra bit of money there. So I hope you enjoyed that. I appreciate you watching. If it helped you in some way, hit the subscribe button. If I got you thinking, that's all I'm asking you to do is just think today. Are you moving your money where it should be? Not just the investments, but how they are placed and when you make these transactions to do these conversions, right? It's out there. People will help you with it, and I hope you'll consider us. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we will see you later.
Why should you choose Jazz Wealth as your retirement or long-term investing service? Our portfolios are managed by us, not some faceless mutual fund manager. Our private classes will teach you everything about investing and getting your dough straight. Best of all, our fiduciary standard means your best interest comes before ours.